look after the teenager, then you have a better chance of managing both. But for sure, like following Mr. Chichi's advice, every business is like a new baby. It needs your presence, it needs your time, it needs your energy, emotional, and all. A lot of mental stuff. You're trying to build this business up again from scratch. And so a lot of time was spent at the new spa, for sure, yeah? And so the teenager became problematic. Again, because, again, a caution to ladies, do not build a business around you. People used to come to Pampers because of Immaculate. So now they're coming and saying, where is she? She's not around. Hey, okay. Where is she? She's not around. Hey, okay. So slowly by slowly, you start seeing people jumping off, not coming back because I'm not there. And so, lesson to learn in the new business, I am at the back, absolutely in the background, because I learned that from the first business. I cannot be in two places at the same time. So I have a full-fledged staff running the spa. Those who don't even know it's mine, they would never know. And I like it that way because then people are not going there because I'm there. And even my friends, I tell them, the staff will look after you. There's no problem. Just go ahead. The staff will look after you. But ladies like chit-chatting. So they want to feel Immaculate's presence. They want to feel her, for her to chat. So I always tell them, okay, you go, have your treatment. The girls will call me when you're almost done. And then again, because I have particular times when I'm at the spa, at the new spa, I mainly, if they're coming in the evening, then I can meet them. During the day, I tell them I won't be able to make it because now I have to look after the teenager during the daytime. So the scaling has to happen well, it has to be well planned. I learned from the first one. Like, the first one I didn't plan. I just got into this business. But again, because of the knowledge of what I'd gone through to set up that business, I used exact same skills to set up the new business. Suppliers, I used the same suppliers I'd known before. Again, because you know them, you've created that kind of relationship with them. So a lot of stuff was given to me on credit because they know me. But also goodwill of my partners. They let me run the show completely because they say, we trust you. We are investing in you because we know you know the stuff on your fingertips. So that helped a lot in scaling. That has helped a lot in the scaling. Even in management right now, I'll say I'm the managing director. I have other directors, but they let me run the show. And we just talked finances with them, but the rest of the stuff, they let me run the show. So it makes it a lot easier because partnerships can be quite tricky. But these gentlemen have full faith in me, which has helped me, helped a lot to help it be a flawless kind of running of the business.
I think you've spoken very clearly to why it's important to not let the business revolve around you.
Correct.
And to have a team,
Yes.
such a commendable team that when you now go to the third spa,
Yeah.
the second spa won't be acting up because that team has their eyes directly on it.
Absolutely.
If two questions for you. The first question is on Fundi women. It just tells me a lot about how you want to constantly handhold women, especially starting from your journey, trying to get these women to understand how to clean a house and so on. And no one is watching you do it, but it's clearly from within you to try and make women better. And yeah. I'm curious about that. But I'm also curious, when you're done answering that question, on how you growing your carpentry business. I was following your story from way back. But to see what it is now, I was looking at some of the products outside and they're just flawless. Yeah. But how do you handle the financial pressure of that growth?
Adrina is right there laughing at me. We had a conversation earlier about finances. Again, I think one of the biggest challenges in Uganda is the financial part, whether you're starting a business or whether it is growing. The starting part is actually very hard for women because you have to have that somebody that believes in you, mainly for the women. Because, again, I know a few of my friends whose husbands have told them, let's just give her the money so that she can get off my hair. But not really thinking the aspect of it, why they're investing in them. For me, one of the biggest things that I have struggled with in my business is actually growth and trying to raise money and making sure that my business can stay afloat. I've only depended on the bank because I can tell you, I actually keep a record of how many people I have approached to invest in my business. Right now, I am at 24. I have approached 24 people. Just not to tell them that believe in me, but I want an actual partner. But again, like she was talking earlier, experience is very important. It gives you that. When I took onto the other business, that business fell down on the ground. I had grown it, and then eventually I went into partnership with somebody else. I did not evaluate that someone. I did not do any due diligence on that someone. Somebody walked on to me. I was looking for an investment because I'd gotten a bigger contract. Somebody walks to me and tells me, I'll give you 300 million. I went crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I said, huh? He's like, yeah, 300 million? Bring it. I'll give you 50% of my company. No evaluation whatsoever for me to know how much my business was. I did not know what it calls for him if they give me 300 million. All those things I did not know. I only saw the money. So on this, I would caution every woman, if you have a business, please evaluate your business from the saucepan that business has. It is part of that business. Give value to your business. That at any one point somebody comes and says, I want to buy shares into your business. You know what they are going to bring, because partnerships are very, very hard. So for me, without somebody, I actually lost everything. So eventually came, took all the equipment. He had phoned us with everything to a point that he even wanted to kill me. So partnerships can be very, very daring. So eventually I went out of it, and I went into depression for some few months after losing a business and so many other things that happened along. And I restarted another business. Where we are now, we are 5 years. The same thing. She spoke about doing the same thing while knowing. So when I failed, I actually looked at it and I said, what can I do? I realized if I start going to open up a restaurant, or I go and do logistics, it is going to take me the 7 years I've spent into the other business. I said, Eve, get up, stand up, cut your hair short, and go. I had very long hair. I cut off my hair, cut your hair short, and go. And I started the same kind of business. But one thing why, for me, I think women are very, very important. I had my sisters with me. I had my mother with me. And the women I was working with in that former business, all those women were with me. So, and we started again. And from a space where we did not even have a toilet, we used to go to the neighbor, and the neighbor would come and say, they have come again to use my toilet. But it was like that. I never gave up, and I believed in myself, and I said, if I have done the other one before, I'm going to do this again. So eventually, we decided that how do we bring more women into our space? And how do we get for them to understand there's an opportunity? Because one of the things I realized while working, there was a gap in human resource. And that gap, and there's also a mindset where people are saying this business is for men, how come? But me, I'd worked with women. I can tell you why you're looking at those products are florists. Women are the ones that are in the department of finishing. So they pay attention to details, they'll take their time and even think. And as women, sometimes you go through a lot of emotional stuff. One of the easiest things I can tell you is cramps. They can give you a headache. But a fellow woman will look at you and say, today she's not in a good mood. But the men are going to look at you and say like, So I realized that those women were holding me up. I can tell you now in my carpentry business, I'm not even there. All those products, you see, I just made a phone call and I said, we need to be at this event. Please bring this and this. Whatever you have, I don't care what, bring. Organize yourselves, get there in time, and make sure you're there. Before I even got here, they were here. They had organized everything without me. The business I run now is run by only women. The entire management of carpentry business, our business, is all women. So those women do an amazing job. I can tell you, one thing we have to learn as women is to support each other. that support system, because you will know when I'm angry and you will understand. Bickling and trying to bring ourselves down won't bring you anything. So we started the Fund Women Project, and with the Fund Women Project, our goal is to have 1,000 women into this industry, because the industry is empty and women can fit in there.
Wow. We don't have a lot of time, which is very sad, especially considering the panelists we have and the things we are learning. But Diana, was there ever a time in your career and in your business where the pace of your growth was so quick that it shocked you and you didn't know what to do with it, or what to do with yourself, or how to handle it? And what did you do?
Thank you. So 2021 is when I left formal employment. I'm still doing consulting, but one of the things that I was passionate about is skilling. Because I had worked or have worked in education for so long, focusing, on UPE, designing programs, USE, but I was always disturbed that many people who go to school don't actually finish. So for me, the passion has always been in how can we do more vocational skills, and how can we normalize skilling, that it's not for failures or dropouts. So the thing that I started together with some other friends of mine is Inzani Creative Hub, which basically brings together creatives. This was an idea in 2020. Let's get together and begin to train people. And remember, I was formerly employed. So as Immaculate said, you're trying to do two things, set up something, but then rush to work 8 to 7 sometimes. So I decided in 2021 to leave. But what has amazed me is initially we started in a garage in Kamocha, and we're not big yet, but I see progress. We started in a garage in Kamocha, which belonged to a friend, and we were training, somebody gave us 20 women to train from Mulago, Katanga, in a number of skills: hairdressing, braiding, catering. But the demand, increased, that once things opened up, we decided to get our own space. So I think one of the things that, just to encourage everyone around scale, is you need to believe in yourself, but also just start. Because we could have remained in the garage for years and years and continued as a garage business. But now we've moved to our own venue, and every day that passes, something connects. The dots begin to connect. The people you meet, the people who come into that space, the partnerships. Just recently, we're doing a bit of work with Alliance around a wall mural competition. These are things you didn't imagine, but people come into your space, and you immediately begin to move from one level to another. So I think for me, just starting and then looking for the correct, I wouldn't call it partners, everyone is warning about partners, but collaboration. So you do you, let's see how we can work together and collaborate. So for me, that has really been something that has encouraged me, and I see so many opportunities that I'm making sure my books are correct, my story is correct, because I know we're growing and doors are opening. Yeah, thank you.
What's that thing they say about start and the stars will align? Okay, Diana, let me see your book. I really think you keep missing the opportunity to say, and then I wrote a book, and you're not marketing it at all.
Okay, so let me talk for a second about the book. I'm a dreamer. I always tell people I'm a dreamer. So my book is called Dream It Possible. And I wrote this book before I ever left formal employment. And then when I left, it made sense. Each one of us has a passion or something that you're passionate about. And many times we go about the rat race, just keep up, keep going, and forget the things that we're passionate about. So COVID for me was an eye-opener, because many people died, unfortunately, and they died with their dreams. They died without climbing that mountain. They died without mentoring the girls they always said they would mentor. So my book is Dream It Possible. It's a life planning guide, And it's about achieving what you set out to achieve. Because the one thing each of us have in common here is she loved carpentry. She got out and went for it. Immaculate loved care and spa, and we got out and went for it. I'm passionate about scaling, and I'm growing that. So that's what my book is about. Thank you.
Great. So I know we've run out of time, but if the MCs will allow me one, they're not even here, so we can continue until they come. So my final question for each of you, and very, very quickly, what experience did you go through that taught you the one lesson that you want us to leave this room with? And this experience could be an experience on scaling, on growing your business or yourself as an individual, but something that taught you such a valuable lesson that you'd want to pass it on. And the one thing I like about having women in the audience is when you're saying something powerful, you hear the mamas, you hear, so it feels like it's sinking in. So give them something to go home with. I know there's already so much you've given them. I don't know who wants to start. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I can clearly see you're thinking. Immaculate, please.
Sing it began from this side all along, so may as well continue the trend. Am I on? Yeah, okay. Know your business is one thing I would say as I wind up. I'll give an example. When I was running the salon, I was still maybe about 2 years into the business. So those who have run a salon know one of the biggest challenges is the human resource, right? And so one day, a client had made an appointment to do color the next day. And I even called the hairdresser and told him, this client is coming tomorrow at 10 a.m. They'll want to do color, then do a haircut. And the guy said, yeah, sure, no problem, madam. And then guess what? The next day at 8 o'clock, because we used to open at 8, he didn't show up. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just going to be late today. 9 o'clock, 9:30, client comes in at 9:45, and this guy is nowhere to be seen. Phone is switched off. That was one incident. A second incident was a bride. You can imagine, had a bridal team. And the guy before who was preparing the bridal team, he was aware that because he had come the day before, prepared them, put their wigs on, their wigs on and everything. So he knew that, we have brides the next day. He didn't show up because he had asked for a bit of some money in advance. I said, sure, since you're coming back tomorrow, I'll give you the balance when you come tomorrow. The guy did not show up. So those two incidences, the second of the bride, I'd watched my friend do makeup, so I said I had to do the bride's makeup, the bridal team. Luckily, I got a guy to come and do the hairstyle, the bridal hair. But the other guy, color is a bit of, it's a skill. Not everyone can just do color. Otherwise, you end up with green hair. And so but I had to learn now to start doing hairdressing. I stopped being the boss and became one of my team. I got a guy to come. I took classes because I believe that even for my spas right now, I employ people who have actually gone to school to understand how a body and anatomy works. I don't want people to come to the spa and they press you in the wrong place, press a nerve or something, then you get issues. So as a rule, my business is that I have to have people who have actually gone to school to do hairdressing and to do beauty therapy. So I had to learn that myself. So I got a guy on Sundays to come and teach me about hairdressing, about the beauty industry, because I realized that should a staff not come to work, I'm not left short-handed. So people get shocked when they come and find me at the sink washing hair. They come and find me doing a facial. But because I had to learn. And then also because now, and the staff respect me more because they know that even if I don't come to work, madam will be okay tomorrow. I'll work. I don't call anybody. It's a rule. I don't call people when they don't come to work. I don't call them because I know I can step into that gap and do so, right? So my takeaway, my parting shot would be if you're in business, and I always give the example of that this is a baby. Business is like actually a child. Yeah. You can only delegate so much, right? But the feeding, the schedule of the baby's feeding, maybe the medical checks and etc. have to be done by the parent. So as a business owner, you're the parent of this child called your business. You can only delegate so much, right? even in terms of growth, like I told you, like now the spa is fully run, but still I have to keep going in and checking and make sure that things are going right. Though she's doing a great job, my manager there is doing a great job, but still I have to go in and just make sure things are okay. But you cannot check what you do not know, right? So you need to know your business intimately. Then that will help you actually set up the system. Because scaling means that you're not going to be able to be in all the places at the same time. But if you've set up your systems, because you know your business, when you go into check, you know exactly what you're checking for. And again, the staff respect you because they know Madam has her eyes on us. Madam knows what she's doing. Otherwise, unfortunately, we have a bad culture where workers try to get more than what they're supposed to from your own businesses, or they create their business within your business.
Yeah,
so if you need to know what to look out for in such cases, is someone profiteering from my own business, you can tell the signs, but you cannot know that if you're not intimately involved in your business, if you don't know what to look out for, set up the correct systems, because they shall play you, they shall try and take advantage of your absence because you cannot be on the places at the same time. So get to know your business intimately. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Immaculate. Please, let's give Immaculate her flowers. Eve.
I think for me, I will add on to that. I'll add on to what you have said, knowing your business. But then 2, I will add resilience. And then 3, empowerment. Resilience, I can tell you, I always tell people, in your business, no one is coming. No one is coming to rescue you. Please go in knowing no one is going to come and rescue me. If I fall, I need to get up myself. If I fall, I will have to get up myself. No one is coming. And I can tell you, ladies, no one is coming. I have been there. I know. And why I'm saying no one is coming, from my past business, I failed. I had to do it again myself. And in that point, in between where I lost a business partner, I also lost a home partner. And I had to be alone. So no one is coming. Please go into a business knowing you have to be resilient. And if you've done something for 5 years, please go back and do it again. Because you've learned, you've had past lessons from it, past mistakes, and then at that point you have to grow. Anything else you have to do, like she said earlier, you have another 5 years to learn again and grow again. Just do exactly what you've been doing. Consistency. Empowerment. Why am I emphasizing empowerment? You need people to help you. I know most of the time we say, oh, I don't want to train them because when I train them, they'll take my business away or they'll go and do something else. Let them go and do. Train another person. Because you need people to help you. There's no way you can run a business without other people helping you. And trust me, for me now, from the carpentry side of things, I've trained men who are doing amazing work with their own personal workshops. Men. So, but I always tell them, that is another phase that has gone down. Let me get in new blood. But if you have empowered certain kind of people, they will help you. My workshop, I've empowered the women. I left my workshop. Now I am actually working with the American Chamber of Commerce. I dedicate my time there. And I dedicate some time to the workshop. But even if I'm not there, I am not worried. Those women, I empowered them. For whatever they do, I always tell them, this business is also your business. You drop it down, we all drop. That is it. So empower people because you need people. You are just one person. Like she was saying, you're just one person. You cannot do everything. So empowerment, resilience, know your business so that people do not come to teach you what you started. Yes.
So for me, it would be 2 things. One would be do your homework or do your research, particularly about your business. I think there's no excuse not to be knowledgeable about your business and about the opportunities around it, given that we have Google, given that we have mentors, we have women who have gone before us. So it's important to research and know your business in detail. So even when you look at scaling, what are you scaling? What does that mean? Is it opening a new branch? Is it exporting? Is it improving on a particular brand? I think that's extremely important. I met a gentleman a couple of years ago, the owner of Chaninga Lodge, and we had a conversation, and he told me that before he started the lodge, he researched for 2 years about starting the business, materials, all the details. By the time he had done, almost an equivalent of a degree about the resort, he was knowledgeable and ready to open. If you go there, you'll find they planted trees because he thought ahead. He was like, in 3 years' time, these trees will be grown. So instead of buying wood, we'll use it to expand cottages. He thought through the whole 10 years. So I think even us, we have to have that culture of research and gathering knowledge from those who have gone ahead. Then the last thing that I'd want to say is financing. I've noticed that there's quite a number of opportunities for financing that we have spoken about, getting partners, borrowing money from friends, but also currently now in Uganda, there are a lot of opportunities for women to get grants or to get loans. So I think as you do your research, and we can share, I'm sure there'll be opportunities later, please also look for opportunities to get low-cost loans if you're going to take credit. Don't borrow from a money lender if you have your paperwork to get low-cost loans or grants that are available currently. So there's quite a lot of emphasis and drive in supporting women in the next couple of years. So let's also look for opportunities to get cheap credit into our businesses. Thank you.
Just to say thank you to all of you, a very engaging audience. Those little mms and so on encourage the panelists and help them open up and tell their stories. So thank you all for, let's clap for oh great. Thank you all for making us feel like they were saying something important. And thank you all so much for sharing your insights with us. I'll hand over to the MCs. Yes, I know there were questions. I can hear someone from this side, but I was told to stop at, do you want to give me some time for questions? Like 2 questions? Okay, I don't want to choose. So I need someone to choose. People will hate me. Any 2 questions? Anyone with a question? Okay, there's a question here at the front and another one on this side. Immaculate.
Okay, hi Immaculate. I'll just say hi again, guys. So I'm in the beauty industry as well. I'm called Shora. And as you talk about scaling and this business being your baby, yeah, how do you take your hands off something that you really love to do? Because personally, I do give these beauty services and I love giving the service. So how do you cut that umbilical cord? I see it as an umbilical cord. Yeah.
Thank you for your question. It's a good question and very true about the umbilical cord. My experience is that mine was that my cord was talking to customers. In my banking career, I was into customer care, and I loved to interact with customers so much. And like I said, when she talked about what happened when you had to scale, what happened to the old business, that was why I think, because I'd gotten my customers so used to me interacting with them a lot, so when they would come and not find me there, they felt that gap. In your case, I would say because you actually do what you're doing, like to say it, empower people to do it, because you're only one person. And also speaking about scaling is that, and I listen a lot to to Worship Harvest Business, they have a business forum, Business Garage. And actually the whole of last week, you can go and look at the videos, they're talking about scaling, yeah, and growing. And one of the things was like, you have to multiply yourself. There is no way you can, if you really want to grow, you have to multiply yourself. I always think about Donna, the lady of Sparkles, and how she manages to have all these spas, all the salons in all the malls. And she's my idol she's my, not mentor, but I aspire to be like her. But what I realized, we've got to set up systems. And we have got to have, in the last Worship Harvest, in the business guide, they talked about building businesses for generations. If we can build a business outside ourselves, then there you can be able to actually scale. And don't be afraid to train, you know, because my training was that I trained my staff to be, because my strength is in customer care, I trained my staff to pamper my customers so much. And so it gives me great satisfaction when I'm not there, but people send me a message and say, hi, I was at the salon today, and my goodness, great service today. Or, oh, hi, I went to the spa today, and my goodness, your staff treated me so well, which means at least that is working, yeah? I don't have to be there to pamper my customers, but I'm teaching my staff how to look after my customers. Like in the salon, for example, I always tell them, children are our customers, not the mom. So any mother here knows that you shall drive Belinda High from wherever you are and cross town because Pampazone is going to treat my child well. Even the girls, the child will tell you, Mommy, I'm not going to another salon, even if it's around the corner, because I have friends in the other salon. So I'm teaching my staff even to treat the babies like their own, because I have some who are mothers. And I always tell them, how would you feel if you took your child to a salon? You took your child to a salon and they get mistreated. How would you feel? So these are mothers. So the babies need to feel safe in that space. And such that the mother will also, and I have mothers who come, drop off the kids and go away because they know the kids are safe with us, right? So I'm multiplying myself in that way because that is my strength, looking after people, caring after people. That's why I open up the services, because that is my strength, that is my passion. I like to make people happy, I like to pamper people. So you would need to multiply yourself, train your staff, and don't be afraid, because I'll tell you this, because your skill is your skill. Like she said, you can train, they'll leave, but you see, if you read a book called The Something Entrepreneur, I forget the name, it's like a small little book, they'll tell you that a technical person cannot open up a salon. They think because they are so good at doing hair, they'll go around the corner, open up their own salon. They do not know they're not good at bookkeeping. They're not good at managing other stuff. They're not good at customer care. Perhaps they're some of the rudest. They could be good with their hands, but they're not good at treating people well. They do not know how to, and then realize that business comes with costs. Just because they feel like, oh, I'm earning, Madame is making all this money, and I'm getting this money, they forget you have to pay rent. You have to pay for utilities, you have to buy products, you have to pay them, yeah? And so they think, oh, they look at the money and they're thinking, oh, I can do this because I have the skill. But you'll find that, and I always tell them, please, by all means, go, you have to grow anyhow, which is a good thing. But because they don't have those skills that you have, unfortunately, the business always end up failing. So don't be worried about people going away with your skill. The skill is yours. Keep training. And then treat them well, because we need, like she said, we need the staff. We cannot do everything. Even if you're good at what you do, and again, don't make people get used to saying, I have to go, if she's not there, none of the staff is going to work on me. That becomes a problem, because what happens if you're going to fall sick, you're going to lose somebody, you're going to have not to be around, and they need to get used to other people being able to work on them. So be okay with multiplying yourself. It's okay, and you're giving back. You're someone also invested in you to get these skills. So you multiplying yourself is actually also giving back and growing other people, and it is okay. I always say that there are 220-something million women in Kampala alone, right? They are customers for everybody. So even if they leave, the staff leaves, open up their own salon, it is okay. There are things that people will come because you are doing them. And they cannot, some of the soft things that you do cannot be replicated by your staff even if they go. So be comfortable with training your staff, be comfortable with multiplying yourself, And by the way, you grow in that way. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Immaculate. We're going to take one more question. There was a question on this side, or have you changed your mind? Okay, that was the only question that we had. I hand over back to you. Where?
Is there a hand?
All right.
False alarm, guys.
Thank you so much. Please have your seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, lovely panelists. We'll just address the elephant in the room, the electricity.
Oh, yeah.
These things happen. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think everything has gone on well so far.
Typically, I mean, and it's interesting that we're talking about entrepreneurship, and I think Josephine was like the business owner for this business. And I think we have to commend her because that felt like a business journey from the beginning with the hiccups. But the one thing that stood out for me there at the end when the power did its thing again, there was this stunned look in her eyes. Even in the darkness, I could see it. And in a minute, even electricity was scared to come back on. So very avid business, very avid entrepreneur. Let's give it up for Josephine Karanji. All right, maybe we want to find out, do you have any highlights? 10-second highlights. Anybody that has a highlight for them in this past session, just before we go for the next one. Anybody? Show of hands if you have any highlight. Yes? Oh, there's one over there. Oh, there's another one here. 10 seconds. Oh, please share your name and your business.
Thank you so much, Vincent. My name is Blessing Omche Immaculate. I own a legal aid clinic. I provide services for businesses, legal services for businesses, especially startups and women businesses. So if you are at any stage of legalization of your business, whether it is taxes and registration and anything, and you're finding a challenge, I can give you consultancy for free, and then I charge the service at registration. So for me, my highlight is resilience. That is my highlight. We went through COVID, and ladies jumped out of business, they gave up, but the most important thing is resilience. But I wanted to add one thing. Just one visit. Half.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I also work with Uganda National Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to highlight that the most important thing also for women is that we do business because we are passionate about it. But we are not mindful that we need to make money. So you keep investing money, you borrow, you get from your friends and family, and you put money in business without knowing that this is a business, you're supposed to make money out of it. So most of the opportunities come and we are not ready. They're asking for this document, you don't have it. They ask for this one, you don't have it, but you're still running a business for the 15 years. So my advice is, let's try as much as possible to do little, but make it professional and prepare for whatever we want to get in the next future. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that highlight. And for sharing us a highlight, we have a gift for you, sponsored by Dessert House.
Who are right outside.
Oh, yes, you
so
can check
when we
them out.
break, you can go and have a slice of cake and other wonderful things.
Another highlight, and if it's more than 10 seconds, I don't have a gift for you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sonia Nali. I do scrub, natural scrub made out of coffee, lemon, brown sugar, honey, and shea butter or coconut oil. And it's really amazing to the skin, and you can see how my skin is. Nothing there, no foundation.
You had 5 seconds, eh?
Yes, so I'm going to the highlight. To me, I'll go with Eva's no one is coming. You fall down, you stand up, you shake whatever dust you have on yourself, you sit back on the drawing board, you do everything back to wherever it's supposed to be. So I'll go with that. No one is coming, you are in for yourself. Thank you very much.
Well, I know no one's coming, but I come bearing gifts. So yes, it's still sponsored by That House. You can check them out, but also they're also available on Instagram at Desert House Uganda.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I won't be able to get up. My name is Leila Mpanga, and next to me is my partner, Yasmin Mayanja, and we're directors at Harmony International School, and it takes children from 6 months to 13, 12 years, and it's a dual curriculum school that is national and Cambridge. So my highlight is actually two.
Highlight.
One.
Yes.
Okay, which one is the prime one? Josephine, those questions, and each one of those questions you asked was spot on. I told, we were talking to each other and like, oh, maybe we're in the, how did she pick these questions? Or are we just in the right place at the right time? Thank you. That was well done.
I have a gift for you. I almost gave you two because on behalf of moderators of Uganda and appreciating the work we do. So from this side, for those who came very early, there was another side here. So if there are any highlights from this side, please show of hands. Any highlight going once? Going twice? You guys missed out on the prime seats and you're missing out on something again. There's someone all the way at the back there. Please. Yes. Yes. Sorry. Just.
You guys have missed out on this.
Thank you. Good evening.
A gift. A full gift. It's fine. It's fine.
Good evening. I am Sauda Mayanja. I am sisters to Yasmin and Leila, but we run different businesses. And I am with Mayanja Candles. We work to nourish your soul and your body and your mentors by selling exquisite scented candles. You should check us out outside. Okay. Now, I'm working for the ice cream, for the dessert, but I liked, which I think is very fundamental, what was said about valuing your business. And, excuse me, I wrote it down. Excuse me just a bit. One of the speakers, unfortunately I couldn't tell who it was because I'm in the back and rather short. But she said, evaluate your business and know its value at any one point. She said from the saucepans, and seeing as Mfumba works, I will also evaluate from the saucepans. And so I think because once you've got the fundamentals and the financials right, then I think everything else, ideas and inspiration and everything else can fall into place as long as the financials are right. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Since you have been very honest that you are sharing your highlight only to get a gift, no, I think Grace, she's going to come to you because this one's grand. Yeah, so you're going to go all the way to the front since you are very honest and also you went ahead and wrote your highlight down. And also, your fellow backbenchers on the other side rejected the gift, so they can also see what they missed out on. So the grandest gift for the highlight session comes to you, Sauda. Please give her a round of applause.
Welcome. And just something to note, for those who got the gift packs, we have some products from Sauda. And she's also part of the interviews we did, which we'll mention more about that after.
Yes, to put this all together, we had several partners that have walked this journey with us and brought this to light. We'll be hearing from them in a bit, but we just wanted to recognize them. One of them is EcoBank. Please, let's give them a round of applause.
The next one is NSSF. I'm sure we've seen their branding all over.
There's Ultimate Group, and they'll also be speaking to us in a bit.
The next one is Rosaho Restaurant for providing food, the space, and they've been delightful to us.
Oh, and the electricity was not provided by them. That was Umene.
That's Kenya Power. Wait, sorry, that's
Kenya
Uganda
Power.
Power.
No,
yes.
that's a better answer.
So those ones we don't need to mention them.
And finally, Lavena Hotel, which is hosting our entire team
Yes.
from Kenya for about 5 days. Lavena Hotel, they'll be speaking to us.
Yes. Guys, the food at Hotel Lavena, if you haven't been there, just go. Just go. The pork, the goat. What else am I missing, Jeffrey? The fish. If you were here earlier, I was just saying how I didn't come with this body. This body is courtesy of Hotel Lavena. I came looking like Aisha. If you know Aisha, I was Aisha. So thank you so much, Hotel Lavena, for hosting us.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's several conversations that are going to be shared today, but one of the highlights of the conversations is from our chief guests that's going to be introduced by Grace.
Okay. So our chief guest is a foreign service officer with a demonstrated history of working in the international affairs industry, strong community and social services professional, skilled in non-profit organizations, international relations, and educational exchange program management. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Amy Peterson.
Good evening, everyone. So on behalf of the U.S. Embassy here in Uganda, congratulations on holding the first Candid Conversations here. Now, as you may have guessed from my bio, I am not a businesswoman. I am a diplomat. Therefore, I thought I would take the opportunity to share some candid thoughts on women in diplomacy that you might be able to learn a little bit from when it comes to business growth. Now, did you know that up until the 1970s, if you were a woman in the Foreign Service, like me, the Foreign Service is the American Diplomatic Corps. So if you were in the Foreign Service and a woman, and you got married, you had to leave the Foreign Service. You couldn't stay. And if you were a man, an ambassador, part of your review process, how they evaluated you as a diplomat, was on your wife's hosting skills. Things have changed. And they have changed over these years because women stood up and advocated for their equal rights as employees, as diplomats, as representatives of our country, and as members of a diplomatic community. Women began demanding the equal rights and to take up their space at the table. That's what you do as businesswomen, that you are doing, occupying your space in your industry. And it's something that we had to do too. And now you look at the American Diplomatic Corps, and we are 50% women. It's about 50% women, which I think is a big step up for us. And we're very proud of that. But at the top, at the ambassador level, it's only about 30% women. Now, I am very lucky here in Uganda to have Ambassador Natalie E. Brown as our leader. We have a strong female leader here at our embassy in Uganda. And I think it is by seeing people at the top that inspires the people coming below to achieve those same heights. And so for us in diplomacy, when we see women ambassadors, when we see African American ambassadors, when you see women with disabilities as ambassadors, it lets everybody else know that you too can reach those heights. And that's what I see you doing as women business leaders. You are models to all the younger women who are coming up below you. And when you talk about the mentorship, the networking that has allowed your businesses to succeed, that's exactly what we had to do in diplomacy to be able to achieve this level of equality. So now, in just the 10 years that I've been a diplomat, I have seen a rise in a networking group called Executive Women at State in my organization. I see Facebook groups dedicated to women in diplomacy. And those groups are both networks for professional advice and personal advice, because we all know that you can't be your best professional self unless you take care of your person. And what has been amazing is to watch this professional network recognize that and that we can look to our senior female leaders to give us personal advice about how to manage your family, manage all the travel that we do, how you should approach your leadership, and get that personal advice so that you can succeed as a professional. So when I look to all of you as business leaders, I hope that you can continue that model, because I see it here in Uganda with the women I've had the pleasure of working with. It is women that are giving back to their own community, like what you're doing here through these conversations, that will allow this community to continue to thrive. And at the U.S. Mission, we are proud to support women in business, and we do that through a few programs. I believe we have here some Academy for Women Entrepreneurs alumni and participants. Hello, awesome ladies. We are very proud to support the program, the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, to give the business skills that are necessary for women to thrive. And we really appreciate the local partners that manage that program, because they do exactly what we had the lawyer representative over here talking about. The need to register and formalize your business is so essential, so that you can take advantage of all of the legal support that's offered, apply for the financing, and it is exactly those skills that the trainers in the AWA program provide. But we also offer opportunities to learn about American businesses and some of the leadership and philosophy that guides American business owners. And we do that through programs like the Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, and the Mandela Washington Fellowship, which is a leadership program that has a specific track focused on business. And those opportunities take you to the United States for a 6-week leadership course. Applications for the Mandela Washington Fellowship are open right now. So if you are a woman in business or in any leadership position, I encourage you to consider applying. Look up the Mandela Washington Fellowship, because every year our business category of applicants has more men in it than women. And I think you can help change that. And for those of you that are senior women, please take that message and inspire the younger women to go ahead and apply. Use their energy and motivation to build their future, and do that through these networks. Now, I believe I might be the person that is between you and a break and enjoying some of those tasty desserts that have been provided by the sponsors. So I will not take too much of your time, but I want to say congratulations again for setting up this space to have the dialogue, to inspire each other, and know that the U.S. Mission in Uganda, through our range of programs, wants to be here to support you. And if you have ideas about how we can better do that, please come chat with me during the networking session. So congratulations, ladies, and have a wonderful evening chatting with each other.
Financial management.
I think I may not have talked long enough. They're not ready for me to stop. If we're still waiting, do you want to take any questions? Yes.
I'm Shuki, and I work with my sister.
There's lots of sisters here tonight.
So I opened up the website for the Mandela Foundation.
Oh, very good.
And personally, when it comes to me, I saw someone's video that is an alumni for the Mandela Fellowship, and he was giving tips on how to go through the procedure and everything. So one of these tips was you have to be consistent on what your vision and mission is for the application. Yes. So what advice would you give if someone has divided when it comes to that point?
That's a great question, and I may also ask a few other Mandela Washington Fellow alumni that might be around here to offer any tips. But first, what I'll say, when I first came to Uganda 2 years ago, I would ask somebody, what do you do? And I would hear one thing. And then I would be over here talking, and they say, oh, did you meet Rosa? She does this totally other thing. And I was like, no, she's a businesswoman. They're like, no, she's a career woman. And I'm confused. And then it turns out everybody in Uganda wears 80 hats. Everybody has 3 jobs. Everybody's hustling. And that's great. That is what makes you guys thrive. That's what earns Uganda the reputation as one of the most innovative and entrepreneurial countries in Africa. But that does not help your application to the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So The advice on the video was correct. When you're applying to a program at the US Embassy, and I would think this could apply to many applications, you do need to streamline your thinking. For this application, which hat am I wearing? Am I the career woman who's working in a government office? Am I the business owner? Am I the advocate on social justice issues? Because you might be all three of those, but you will need to pick one. And I think that type of advice is useful for whenever you're presenting yourself to an audience. Who are you today? Pick one and stick with it. Because you'll need to be able to say, on this program, I want to build my skills in entrepreneurship so that I can expand this business. Because if you start talking about your social enterprise, it leaves the reader of your application confused as to what is your purpose. And especially on a program like Mandela Washington Fellowship, where we have a public management track, a civic leadership track, and a business track, where do I put your application? And you don't want me to choose, you choose. And I think you need to be able to focus your goals. And that may mean that even though you do amazing things on your social impact advocacy stuff over here, you're not talking about it in the application because you're choosing that right now, at this point in my career, what I need to focus on is developing my business skills. With that, let me see, do we have any Mandela Washington Fellowship alumni here who might like to offer any advice to some of these other ladies? Who would like to start? You want to?
Yes, my name is Lucia Olikiliza. Yeah, my name is Lucia Olikiliza. I was one of the pioneer yearly members for Uganda in 2012. I'm the managing director for Ori Bags Factories in Uroba Mitiana Road. And above all, I'm a stage 4 breast cancer survivor. And cancer ate my bones, God preserved my spirit. So for yearly, for the opportunities, I used to be on the team to shortlist those to go for yearly opportunities. And I also have a good relationship with the current yearly president. I normally go to the American Center for taking through those who are interested. Sometimes you may not go through because it is competitive, but you keep on trying. And like also, anything that is worth fighting for, you have to compete because we have so many. They are looking for maybe from 1 to 13. Is that wrong? Yeah, now it is up to 35. But as you see, the Ugandan population is high. Still, the thing is competitive. But also, there are other opportunities. AGOA, I have also been on that team. And then we had the AmCham, the American Chamber of Commerce. And then something that we can also discuss about when it comes to the issue of technology transfer. When you go to US and you want to do any technology transfer to the Ugandan soil, the cost of production is very high. So if you are to bring such technology to Uganda, you must be producing for the US market. Because when you look at the consumption pyramid in Africa, in Uganda in particular, people buy prices before they consider quality. So I think that's what I can say. But we keep on doing things, we fall, we rise.
Great tips, thank you. Manuela, Eve? A quick tip.
A quick one. For me, I'm a Mandela Washington Fellow 2015. Jamila, come here. I'm your president. So me and Jamila, we are in the same fellowship. So a lot of the things like she was saying, please pick one thing that you can focus on. So if you can focus, if you have an NGO, you're running a beauty salon, choose one that you can focus on, and that's where you'll get value. So for me, it was about women empowerment, and I was running a business. I applied for business and entrepreneurship. So I got my value on being able, actually Fundi Women is coming out of that. So choose one thing that you want to focus on and apply for that. And in the applications, we are here, some of us, we mentor people. If we see that you actually deserve this opportunity, because this opportunity opens up doors. Jamila is a witness.
Hi guys, my name is Jamila Mayanja. I'm the founder and team leader at Smart Girls Uganda, a social enterprise that empowers women and girls mostly. I'm a 2015 MWF alumni who recently also won an Leadership Impact Award recently. But it comes from the mentorship for the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and I've been keen to use the knowledge I got from Dartmouth University around innovations. My girls have been able to innovate things, helping climate change. They're launching a maternity solar warm bag for babies. So, but this comes from the knowledge that we actually get from the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and even after, they really get to support you. And I'm now working with companies. I applied for a PDE alumni, and I'm going to get to work with a vocational school that is going to help my girls. So if you're out there and you really can qualify to apply, knowledge, we can never stop learning and networking. Your networks are your net worth, and your knowledge can go very far. Thank you.
So applications are due by September 12th for the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and please do follow the U.S. Embassy page for announcements about the next Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, other programs, the Yali exchanges that are coming up. And for those of you that are senior business owners, please share those opportunities with your younger peers, because you can be the ones giving those opportunities, and that lets you be the true leader in your community. So thank you for having me this evening. I appreciate it, and good luck with the conversation.
Thank you so much, Amy Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Amy Peterson. All right, we promised you conversation, but just before we go to the next segment, I'm going to ask each and every one of us to be up and standing on our feet and just, stretch a bit, say hello to your neighbor if you haven't already, and refresh, because saying hello to your neighbor is very critical, because you're going to need it in the next part of the session.
And there might be gifts for saying hi to your neighbor. So.
Oh yeah, we come bearing gifts.
Okay. So we did for 10 minutes.
Oh yes, can we do it for 7? Whatever we feel like. All right, as we resume our seats, you are really looking forward to talking to your neighbors, eh? As we resume our seats, I believe every...
At the back, towards the door, Felix. Okay, so we can see you're excited about talking to your neighbors. So Felix is wondering where I was pointing him out is because he was a noisemaker at the back. So this is Felix. Felix is wonderful. Again, about food. We have been eating at his house. He's been generous enough to offer his house, actually, for us to record our videos, because we realized this venue would be a bit loud. So guys, a round of applause for Felix. Yes, we can't thank you enough. You fed us the best chapatis. I was telling Vincent, he's at the second best chapatis after my mom's. So, I mean, I've had enough chapatis. Yeah. So thank you so much. And I think we'll also call you later to say a word. Yeah.
Thank you. So everybody, at least either on your row or your neighbor has a flyer. Yes.
If you can't see any next to you, just raise your hand. We'll get you one.
If you don't have any next to you, just divorce your neighbor. Get a new neighbor.
Not on you, next to you. If you cannot see it at all.
One, if there's two of you and you have
No, I can't see.
Let's just share with somebody who does not have one. If you have, there's two of you and you both have flyers, please share with somebody who does not have one. So what do we do with the flyers, Grace?
So I want us to get into groups of five or six, and we'll do, because of time, we'll just discuss the three questions highlighted here. What is your desired goal in scaling your business? What does your customer say about your business? And is it consistent with what you believe your brand to be? And what's the one lesson you can implement from today's session immediately into your business? So let's just quickly maybe turn around, just have a quick discussion in our groups.
Yeah, so we have 5 minutes. Choose any one question that you want to speak about. We have 5 minutes to take that away.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who doesn't have? Do you guys have? Do you guys have? No.
All right. So you said 5 minutes, eh? Yeah, it goes fast. 2 more minutes. All right, 2 more minutes then. All right. We have to call it on this one. We have to call it and get to the next session. I see someone whispering another 2 more minutes. I'm sorry, I cannot grant that. This is how leaders in Cameroon end up overstaying in power. Not in Uganda, in Cameroon. Yeah. So let's please resume our seats. This does not mean the conversation has to end. We can definitely pick up this conversation right after the session. So let's finish up with the formalities and get into the more candid conversations. So, like I earlier pointed out, people, we have to wrap up with the 2 minutes. Especially the ones who asked for 2 minutes. Your term limit has expired. Yes. All right. Like I pointed out earlier, there are people who have contributed in very many ways, shapes, and forms to make this happen. And we want to give a partner a minute for the different partners to share with us what this means to them and basically their journey with us here, and also something from them. So to start off with the partner minute, I would love to invite a financial consultant and the head of commercial banking at EcoBank. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome Helen Luima. I guess the hand clap was not befitting. Clap again and she'll surely show up. Oh yes, that hand clap worked then.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I've been told 1 minute, and I'm struggling with that. First of all, I would like to thank Dawn for making sure that I'm here. Dawn is one of our branch managers in Entebbe. I didn't know about this eye profile, right? And then he told us about it and invited us. And then Charity, who made sure I was here, but also said we must sponsor. I don't know what that means and how big she wanted us to go, but I am so happy to be here. The ladies at the back and somewhere behind there. Okay, I hope we can hear you and you can hear us. But this is a very excellent opportunity for me to be here. And I'll tell you why it's excellent before I talk about EcoBank. I was in banking for about 14 years. Okay, there was a reason as to why I had taken this position here. But I'll get there. Okay. know, one of the things we have to do is to be intentional. If we remember from the ladies that were speaking to us earlier. So I had to make sure I stand here. I did banking for about 14 years, got out, did business for 6 years and a half, and got back into banking. But why am I talking about this? The way I used to approach stuff in the first 14 years and the way I look at businesses today is different because I have been there, I have felt it, I have seen the challenges, I have seen issues with startups, I have seen when somebody said that there's nobody coming for you, it is true. There's no one to come for you. You have to pull yourself up. So I've been there as a woman. And at EcoBank, one of the opportunities that I 14 years now, and we are a Pan-African bank. We operate in over 35 countries across Africa. In the region in East Africa, I think we're the only bank that has presence in all the 7 East African countries. So our ladies that are doing business in DR Congo, in Southern Sudan, in Kenya, in Rwanda, Burundi, we can be able to actually take care of your needs while you're there. The Elevate program is specific for the women, but also men that are producing products for women, for organizations that are hiring more women than men, for organizations that have more women on their boards, for organizations that have more women in management. And with this product, our Elevate product, we are able to give you a lot of services at reduced costs. Some of them are actually free. And one of the free services that we do is financial advice. But also, we do lending at very low rates. So when you're looking for what to do, and I know most times when women have just started up business, one of the areas that people have challenges in is around financials. You have your business, you've been doing all your banking, but you don't have audited accounts. What do? We are able to look at your banking statements and be able to make sense of what you're saying. So we can be able to do the quantitative and qualitative analysis, look at your business and the opportunities that are available. So do not be there worried, I don't have financial statements, or I don't have the audited books of accounts, nobody will look at me. We do look at you. Some of you have contracts that you have won to go and supply other companies. Those contracts, we can actually look at them and finance you against your contracts. Some of you have invoices where you're expecting money. We can actually be able to finance you on the back of those invoices. Some of you have, you're starting up, somebody was talking about carpentry. If you're starting that kind of business, we can also come in and support you. So whatever your business, please, do not worry about what you're doing for us, what we're looking for. Do you have a market? Do you have people who want your product? Can they buy your product? And can we be able to help you grow from one level to another? We are looking for you. So as we are here, please, you know we want you. So come to us. I sit at Kafu Road. When you come in, just ask for Helen Luyuma, Head of Corporate and Commercial Banking. But we also have Dawn. We have Charity here. Daisy. Please speak to us. We are looking for you. Then the last bit I want to touch on is around making the right connections. You're seated right to next to each other. Do you know what you do? Are you supporting each other? Or are you buying from somebody else and you're leaving your neighbor? So, for me, I want to bank you. I want to give you money. Are you going to support the lady next to you? How do you do that? You cannot support the person you don't know what they are doing. I won't talk about my side hustle. But my side hustle, I won't talk about it, but the lady in my group is producing something I need in my side hustle. So we are going to continue that conversation. Please also you, make sure you support and lift up a woman. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's a myth that women don't work well together, and I have a theory that it came from a man, to be honest, to separate us, because we work together, we partner. You can tell, I'm sure a lot of people don't know each other here, but we can tell when we wanted to do the conversations, everyone wants to speak. So I know you guys will connect. So the next person is the customer representative, customer service representative at National Social Security Fund Uganda. And this is Anne-Marie Sanyo. Karibu sana. I actually met her at the first meeting when we were planning this, when it was a dream. I met her and she spoke about NSSF Uganda. And honestly, the one in Kenya, I think you guys need to come and do training because ours is frustrating. So maybe she can just talk to us about any initiatives they have for small businesses in 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. I don't think I need to talk after that. So usually when Ugandans see the brand, they don't appreciate it as much as she has put it. But I hope she has made it better. Like introduced, I'm Anna Maria Sanyu. I work with NSSF. I am a customer financial advisor. So what I do is to advise people about personal finance. Not business, personal finance, right? Yeah, and everyone needs to know about that. So before I start what I want to say, which I wrote down, it's very little. I'm not going to take a lot of time, but how many of us are registered with NSSF? Just put up your hand. Don't be shy. Oh, awesome, nice. How many of us have side hustles, companies, you know, those ones, and they're registered with NSSF? Oh, okay. How many of us have side hustles? Or companies, you own a company? Oh, I'm marking you, I'm coming with a registration form. So legally, you are all supposed to register your company and actually save for your employees, yeah? So they say empower a woman, empower a nation, right? And I'm very happy, I'm glad to be a part of the team that dreamt, and I'm excited that the dream has come to reality. So many of these are happening in Uganda, and it's a good thing. And someone there said, you can never get enough knowledge. So we can keep coming, you never know. Somewhere, somehow, someone will mention something you don't know that you go back and implement in your business. So as NSSF, we are very excited to be a part of such initiatives. And if you have your own and you think we can place our banner there, we would delightfully come and place our banner there. And we will not force your people to register, though we would want them to register. We do this majorly because it's a good thing to help people actually make money. Because when you make money, eventually NSSF will make money. And NSSF is not making money for itself. That's the brighter part. It's making money for you. So Save with NSSF, it's like an investment for your old age. It's like you're buying, you know how we pray and we tithe and we say, and people joke that we're buying plots in heaven? Yeah, saving with NSSF, you're buying a plot in your old age. You know that age when you can't be employed, when you can't run around for your business as much as you want to, we will actually do that. So we have a bit of programs. I'm sure many of you have heard about them. We have the most famous one, the High Innovator. If you're a business person and you've not heard about High Innovator, look for me, we talk, but I'm sure you've heard about it. So far we've had 3 cohorts out, and 2 of those were purely and typically for women. They were all women cohorts. And I'm sure more are still coming, and we have directly impacted more than 100 businesses, not just with knowledge, but with also seed funding of up to $20,000 US. Yeah? So yeah, we love doing this, we love helping, we love sharing, and we also do personal finance for free. Wherever you are, wherever group of people you have, you reach out to us, we'll be there, and we help people understand money, not just business, but you need to understand actually money. Even if you have a business, you need to understand personal finance. Yeah, so I think that's all I had to say. Thank you very much. Those who put up their hands and are not registered, I'm not going to look for you, but please look for me and register your business before, nicely like this with a smiling face, before the law comes. It doesn't smile. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. We'll certainly look for you. And well, there's some people who make you wonder if they also have 24 hours in their day. One of them is Bill Gates, the other, Elon Musk. If you just looked home here in Uganda, it's Kojak Skodro, the CEO of Ultimate Group. And he's walked this journey with us, and I'd love to give this moment to him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CEO Ultimate Group, Kojo. Oh, so if you don't give a sounding round of applause, he's not going to show up. Oh, now he has.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies. And good evening, gentlemen. My name is Justice Kojo. I'm the Ultimate Group of Companies CEO and founder. And I'm very, very inspired tonight to see a gathering, to see a space where ladies come together to openly talk about their business challenges. The one thing I would like to encourage all of you about business is basically be very, very intentional. And number two, I think it was already very well said and articulate. You must have the stomach for entrepreneurship. There's gonna be a day it only takes you, as a matter of fact, you alone. And what you must do is to basically pick yourself from wherever you are, and basically keep going. Second thing really is to also remind you ladies to stay physically fit, because entrepreneurship is quite a journey. And I would like to encourage you to look good, feel very good in your bodies, be secure in yourselves, and do what you have to do. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Cheers.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Adrien from Hotel Avena. Just a quick hi, and
Hi guys. They said a quick hi. First of all, I need to know those who have heard about Hotel Avena. At least I have my. Oh, great. I'm not going to ask other questions. Those who have not heard and would wish to go to Lavena, I have a complimentary to give. Who feels like sleeping out tonight? Your husbands and boyfriends. Your husbands and boyfriends. But all in all, I'll give the complimentaries. My name is Adrien Kopsinje, and I'm a proprietor, Hotel Lavena. So I love seeing happy women. I'm very happy that Eva is here. Eva did furnishing of our hotel. Those who have been to our hotel, when you go to the Downer restaurant, which is Kamage restaurant, it's her furniture. When you get to the rooms, it's her tables and many other things. I'm so happy and privileged that Hotel Lavena is sponsoring this, because as a woman, I love mentoring women to make informed decisions and for self-dependent, just being self-sustaining financially. It is great. It feels good. So when I see women looking for money, I'm part of them and we must support. We are located on Entebbe Road, for those who don't know. But for those who have been there, I've seen very many of my clients. She was talking about the good food, good beds, good gardens. One thing I was sharing with my neighbor was, when we were building, every person who would walk to our site would ask, what strategy are you going to use to have people this side? Because it is a bit off the road. And I told her, during COVID, we made the most money. We were overwhelmed. So business is your journey. It's a journey you make alone. Business is not copy and paste. And luck is there, but you also have to pray. You have to pray for divine connections, divine people, divine thinking, and give it your best. Know your business, love it, and you don't need negative energy. You only need positive energy. With that, see you at Hotel Lavena. For those who want complimentaries, please, I'm here. I'll share the business card. Just come and say, I have a complimentary. Courtesy of Candid Conversations. And they'll call the MD.
Hey, thank you so much. And last but not least, is it, I was hoping it's 8:14 so we can close at 8:15, but anyway. From Rosaho, we have Elizabeth Mushabe. I have butchered it, but Elizabeth, karibu sana from Rosaho restaurant.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're all warmly welcome to Rosaho. It's a pleasure to have each and every one of you here, and an absolute honor to be hosting Candid Conversation. Aisha and I started having this conversation with Patricia, I think more than a year back, and it's so exciting to see that it's actually become a reality. And I would like to appreciate each and every one of you for your contribution, and most of all for making sure that you're here today. I hope that it's been a very good experience for you. I will start by apologizing about the power issue we had, but I'm glad that it's all over and it's all has ended well, I believe. Maybe the only one thing I want to say, the message I would like to say, I'll just introduce Rosaho a little bit. We've been in business for the last 4 years. We initially started off in Naguru as a cafe at Katalima Road in Naguru, opposite the police headquarters. And the reason for starting Rosaho really was a passion. I'm a nutritionist by training, completing my master's in January. And I wanted a place where people could come and relax as they enjoy a meal, and also as they read, because I actually love reading. So those of you who ever came to the first place in Naguru, I think you saw that that was the environment that we had. But then, of course, this is being Kampala. People want to enjoy themselves. They want to come out with family, which was really very limited because the place was small. So fast forward, here we are. We opened up in COVID, and yeah, it was a very big step of faith. And I really must say that I would really, I believe what kept us going was having a really wonderful team that believed in us, that kept going, that accepted to have salary cuts just so we could keep navigating through the tough months. So I believe that also one of the things is for us to share our vision with our team, because when you have them believing in you and believing in what you're doing and seeing where they are going with this, they will jump in and they'll be willing to make the sacrifices that you as the business owner are making as well. So I don't want to take up so much time. I just want to say thank you so much. And lastly, to ask you to enjoy yourselves and make the most of the evening. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Liz. And you didn't have to apologize for the power, because Grace told us it's provided by Kenya Power. Ladies and gentlemen, as we draw to a close, I am going to share a confession with you. I identify as a feminist. Now, many people ask me why, and sometimes I struggle to find the why, because I don't know if it's because I was raised by a single mother or I come after a towering older sister figure. But one of the things that probably makes my decision even more firm is identifying the great women that have come through this earth, women like Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. But there's one for me who is very close to home and always exemplifies greatness. So today I have the honor to introduce her to come and speak here to you. And many times I say to myself, if I can be half the person she is, this world will certainly be a much better place. Ladies and gentlemen, I know no greater honor than to welcome and introduce Aisha Ali, the Executive Director, I Profile Foundation.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The energy is low. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's more like it. What started off as an Instagram DM to a trip to Nairobi, and here we are launching the Candid Conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow entrepreneurs, today we gather to discuss a remarkable initiative that has been igniting change and empowerment in the world of business. Candid Conversations, Circles for Women in Business. This renowned networking event was born in Nairobi in 2016, stemming from the success of a candid handbook for women doing business. A handbook that has proven to be a guiding light for women embarking on their entrepreneurial journeys in Kenya. Candid Conversations is not just an event, it's a movement that aims to create an authentic space where women can connect, learn, and grow together. Can I have a snap for that? It's a movement driven by the belief that women unite, their voices become a force of inspiration, a source of learning, and a catalyst for remarkable progress in their professional journeys. We've witnessed the power of this movement as it has grown from strength to strength. The Kampala edition of Candid Conversations is gaining momentum, and we're thrilled to extend an invitation to all of you to our upcoming event. As members of this empowering network, you'll gain access to insights, tips, and real-life experiences from successful women across various fields. And just looking at all of you, I see a cross-cutting age of sectors, and you all look beautiful. Can you have a tap for yourself for looking so elegant tonight? In the past, our events have delved into critical aspects of women's professional lives, covering leadership, entrepreneurship, finance, and technology. We've paved the way for meaningful discussions, knowledge exchange, and connections that transcend traditional business. As we look ahead, our focus remains on creating opportunities for growth. Our upcoming event centers on a topic that resonates deeply with all of us: scaling and managing growth. Don't you want to all grow? Can I hear woohoo for that? Yes. An engaging and enlightening experience awaits, offering not just insights, but tangible strategies. The event promises not only learning, but also an avenue to connect with like-minded women, forge new friendships, and walk away with actionable plans to achieve our goals. The success of Candid Conversations has been astonishing. The Nairobi editions alone have nurtured a membership base of over 10,000 women. Doesn't that deserve a round of applause? Can I have a louder round of applause? 10,000 women. Establishing this platform as one of the most influential women-led networking forums in the country. Our way forward is clear. We'll diversify our discussions, catering to industry-specific needs, and fostering partnerships that expand horizons. We'll bring in experts who will unravel the intricacies of sustainable financing, market access, and the potential of technology. We'll harness mentorship and networking, encouraging shared experiences and growth. We'll embrace technology to foster ongoing engagement and learning, even beyond our physical gatherings. As we embrace these steps, let's remember that Candid Conversations, it's not just an event. It's a movement that's driven by all of you. Together we'll elevate not just our businesses, but also the role of women in business. Together we'll shape our journeys, inspire change, and make a lasting difference. Thank you for being a part of this movement. Let's set forth a journey of empowerment, growth, and collaboration. Here's to Candid Conversations and the remarkable impact it continues to make in our lives and our businesses. I'm trying to digest the excitement, the energy, but one thing that I want to re-echo is the unwavering support that the partners gave us. Everybody that called, even just 2 days to the event, was like, what more can I do? Oh yes, I'm in. And to all of you that attended an event, you registered, you didn't know who was organizing it, maybe a friend sent it to you, maybe you saw it on your socials, to friends that have not seen in a long time, to colleagues, to partners, to people that have become family. I cannot fathom the experience that I'm feeling, but one thing I want to say that I'm exceedingly grateful to each one of you in your different capacities. So thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I cannot leave this stage without extending a vote of thanks to people that have accorded their time to us this evening. And like the trend that we're having, we'll be giving a few gifts away. Yeah. And I'll just invite Josephine, who will then usher in the panelists that we had before for a few goodie bags. And then, yeah. So thank you very much.
All right, we'll start with Immaculate. I don't know if Immaculate is still here. All right, Diana, I do want to start with you because you are sitting next to me. They might think. Eve, it's as if you didn't know I was going to call you next. The shock. Usually when the person is not there, we say, is there anyone who came with her who can take for her? But we can't prove that any of you actually came with us. So Aisha, I trust that you will keep it for her. Yeah, all right. Josephine, yes?
Okay, I would have loved to give each and every of you a gift, but in a special way, I'd love to give a shout out to Apollo, wherever he is. Apollo Mboa, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dawn, thank you. And finally, to the team that has been behind the scenes. Guys, it's been tireless days of planning meetings to put this together. So thank you, everybody. I know they don't want to come here because it's been a thing, but I'll ask them to wave wherever they are. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And finally, Felix Masi. Yes. Felix is actually someone that fueled this to happen. You know, like a lot of us were procrastinating, and he said, get this going. So, Felix, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for highlighting us, amplifying our voices and our work. To the men behind the lens, thank you very much. Adrian, behind the live stream, thanks. I'm yet to get all your names. But finally, Amy, before you leave, as our chief guest, we have something for you. And finally, as I close, I know I'm standing between your food, but in a special way, I want to invite back Liz and Adrian. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, behind, yes. Disclaimer, I might get emotional, but in my journey of work, I have, okay, I've interfaced selfless people in this journey, and before I speak about them, I just want to thank my team and the Kayana team. It's one thing to have a team that gets the work done. Teamwork makes the dream work. But why I called these two ladies here is they're always a call away. I reach out to them about so many things in my personal life, in my work life, and they've never said no to me. Like, it's even weird that I don't have words to say, but if there's what I would describe them as, they are diamonds. They're so rare, and they're so selfless. They are so amazing. They are so energetic. They're so joyful. Like, I have known, their kids have been in our programs, and we've become family, where we talk about business to fun. I remember we had a trip to Nairobi, and I told them, guys, we're going, and they didn't even ask what the details were. You know, they just jumped. So I want to thank you in a very special way, and I ask that your businesses thrive. May Hotel Lavena become a brand name. May Rosaho, transcend and reach different amazing dreams that you have. I love you so much, and yeah. Yeah, so as I close, I just wanted to close with social capital is something that is very important. Yeah, it's important when you just dial on people and they're there, from EcoBank to NSSF, for any program that I tell them about, they're on board. I called EcoBank, it's a Candid Conversations is in Kenya. They didn't ask me so many questions. They're like, we're on board. So to all of you, may your businesses thrive. May you elevate. May you grow. May you, in the mix of that, find rest and be beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Oh, okay. Well, one, I think, so she's telling me that the gifts for the MCs we shall be receiving from EcoBank, I guess it will be a check. So, clap for the MCs. Also, Grace, you've known me just about 2 months, but don't believe everything I say. Yeah. One, just before we get, because we want to have a picture moment with the